What's up, guys? It's your favorite Q coach, and give me 6 months of your time. I'll give you the best golf swing of your life. So welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, we have another climb before and after video. This one should be very interesting for you guys at home if you struggle with your top swing position and specifically struggle with the elbow kind of moving out this way too much, arms kind of getting collapsy at the top, a little bit of an overswing. If that sounds like yourself, well, this is the video for you. So let's go do this thing. But before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, and that is Kiwi Golf Japan. If you're too busy or you just can't make it out to our locations for lessons, then Kiwi Golf Japan is the membership site for you. With over 170 plus videos of golf instruction, we have everything on the site that you could possibly want. So if you're interested, make sure to check out that link down below. And now let's get into the video. So like I said in the intro, this particular client was really struggling with their top of swing position, specifically kind of the overall positioning of the top of swings with the arms, as well as the rotation of the elbows and then the wrist movements at the top. So pretty much all of the arm movements was really struggling. Because of that, what we found was in the transition area, he really got into a pretty steep club shaft position, and then from P6 into impact, he kind of raised the handle and had a pretty massive flip through the golf ball. So let's go ahead and take a look at the before swing first, then we'll take a look at the after swing, and then after that, we'll talk about what we're going to be discussing in this particular video. So here's the before swing. All right, and here's going to be the after swing. All right, so as you can see, there's a pretty massive difference between the top of swing position. As well, there's a pretty massive difference between the P5 all the way into the impact. So I'm pretty excited to show you guys really the differences of the two. So let's go ahead and start with the top of swing first, and then we'll work our way all the way down to impact. So when it comes to the top of swing position, really I want to focus on the trail elbow first. We're going to talk about the rotation of the elbow. So let's go ahead and take a look at the after swing, or excuse me, the before swing first. And I'm going to go draw an angle on the elbow like such. So as you can see, he's right around 31 degrees, and we've talked about this in previous videos, but 31 degrees is way too much of this rotation for my preference at this point in the golf swing. I'd much rather see it right around 15 degrees or less at the top of the swing, which means that the elbow has hardly any of this rotation. Now, the main reason why we like to see that is if we get more and more of this rotation, it's very difficult to get the club shaft into the correct pitch. So that means on the downswing, you're now going to have to move this elbow in really rapidly and then fling the club head behind you, stop that movement somewhere, and then redirect the club shaft, right? So it adds on that variable, that large range of motion variable that we don't like, and that's the reason why we want to see that elbow into the correct position. If we go ahead and take a look at the after swing now and draw the same angle, we're gonna find that his elbow is right around 12 degrees, right? So he's 15 degrees or less. So we were able to make a pretty big change in a short period of time, just focusing on a pretty extreme feeling in terms of the how much feeling, as well as when we were starting to do it, when did we reach the how much, and then how long we actually held that how much feeling for. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, well, we had a recent video coming out where we talked about how to change the golf swing. Maybe go watch that video because it's really important and it's a big way of how we actually change our clients' golf swings. But yeah, this was a really big change by this client, and it allowed us to get a lot of the other positions that we're about to talk about here. It allowed it to really happen, so domino effect. All right, the next position I want to talk about is going to be really where the elbow is situated relative to the body. And a great way to actually look for this is go ahead and draw a line on the heel. And then once you get the line in the right spot, draw it straight up to the sky like such. And then look at the position of the elbow relative to that line. Now, what we're going for most irons is we want to see that whole elbow in front of that line. So it can be touching the line. If it's a little bit behind the line, it's not big of a deal. But we want to get it really close to being in front of that line, because that's going to allow us to really get the arms and the elbows in front of the body on the downswing, so that from there you can have everything in place to get into a great hitting zone, which is going to allow you to get rid of a lot of the crazy movements you have with your wrist, early releases, high handles, and all that stuff. It's going to make it a lot easier to get rid of. So if we go take a look at the after swing and draw that same line now, we can see that the elbow is in a lot better spot. Now, it's not exactly all the way in front of that line, so this is something that I could probably do a little bit better. However, if you go zoom in here, it's pretty massively changed, right? The position of the elbow is a lot more in front of his body, and it's going to make it a whole lot easier for him on the downswing to get those arms in front of the body and get everything that we want to have happen down during the hitting zone. Now, the last thing that we changed at the top of swing position was going to be the overall pitch of the club club shaft as well as the club head height. So if we go draw a circle where the club head is in the before and then a circle where the hands are, we can see that the club head is below the hands as well as cross the line. This is a big issue for us because again, we don't want to see the club shaft have to flatten, then stop its flattening and then start to steepen, right? We don't want that large range of motion variable. We'd much rather have the club shaft already set into the perfect spot to where now we just have to lower the club shaft and not have to have so much craziness going on in transition, and it's going to be a lot easier for us to control what we have to do moving into the golf ball. And to demonstrate that with the after swing, we can quite clearly see that the club head is above the hands as well as situated behind the hands the perfect amount to where we don't really have to mess around to get into the perfect P5 position, which leads us into P5. So let's go ahead and take a look at P5. So let's go take a look at the before swing first, and then we're also going to take a look at the after swing as well. So the first thing I want to know is going to be the club shaft pitch for the before swing. So if we go ahead and take a look at the number here, we're going to be right around 22 degrees. So remember, we like to be anywhere from 35 to 40 degrees at this point because that's going to allow us to be able to start to steepen the club head the correct amount to get the club head to align with the hands at P6 to get us into a really neutral model. The steeper you are at P5, really from here, you either have to flatten the club shaft to get it back aligned with the hands, or you just have to continue to steepen it and then swing way across the golf ball. What you're going to find for this particular client was he pretty much kind of continued to steepen the club head to get it outside the hands too much at P6, and then actually as he started to approach the ball from P6, that's when he tried to redirect the club, which is probably not what you want to do. If you're going to be really steep at P5, I'd much rather see you just continue to steepen and swipe across. It'd probably be a little bit easier way to hit the ball, but that was really what he was doing, but more on that later. Let's go take a look at the after swing too. So we go take a look at the club shaft at position 5 in the after swing. Now he's within the range that we like to see, right? He's right around 39 degrees. 35 to 40 degrees is where we want to be. Now from here, he can actually start to apply a steepening torque on the club shaft, and if he does it the correct amount, he's going to get into the correct P5.5, the correct P6, P6.5, and then we're going to get rid of that massive flip if he's kind of controlling the club shaft really good through that zone. Now, last thing I want to talk about at position 5 is really the hand positioning. So if we take a look at the after, it's positioned pretty much just in front of the shoulder or pretty much right on the right pec. If we take a look at the before, it was positioned a little bit behind the buttons of the shirt. So in the before swing, it wasn't like he was so far out towards the golf ball. It was a little bit overdone. Really, the club shaft was the bigger issue, but I do prefer to see the hands right around the right pec because I feel like it allows you to really steepen the arc or narrow the radius the correct amount to get into a really good P6. All right, that's it for you guys on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay with me for 1 sec so I can give you guys a little bit of a wrap up. So one of the most important things that we like to talk about in our lessons is going to be the domino effect. If we can change something at the right time in the golf swing, we might be able to get this domino effect to where a lot of the other positions start to change themselves, or at least change themselves enough to where it's not a lot of work to change the rest of the swing. That's kind of the whole point of the domino effect. So you really saw that domino effect in action with this particular client, and that's why you were seeing the P4 change a lot, and then ultimately the P5 and P5.5 also changed a lot as well. So it's something that you should be thinking about in your own golf swing. How can I create that domino effect? So if you guys are struggling with your own golf swings and you guys don't want to do it for yourselves, well, check out the Kiwi Coach 6-month program. Give me 6 months of your time and I'll give you the best golf swing of your life. There'll be a link down below for that as well. Check it out. Also, sign up for our membership page because it really helps us support this YouTube channel and to continue to create content for you guys. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.